Hey, common good fam, Pastor Liana here. Welcome to this month's Love Your Neighbor Sunday Community Partner Conversation. We're going to have an amazing conversation with Ming-Ming. She is the founder of Refugee Artisan Initiative, which the work that they do is with refugee women here in the Seattle area, taking skill sets that they have and turning it into a business so that they can make income for their families. I don't want to give too much information because Ming-Ming just goes in and gives us a wonderful insight on the work that they're doing, the heart behind it, and how communities like Common Good can connect with what they're doing and be a resource. And so without further ado, I think you're going to really enjoy this conversation. So lean in. Okie dokie. Well, hey, Ming-Ming, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here and for, introduce us to your pet. We don't want to be rude.
Yeah, this is Bao Bao.
Bao Bao, nice to meet you, Bao Bao. But listen, I am so grateful that you're here and you're willing to share your story and the work that you're doing with our congregation, and also just bringing about more exposure to what you're doing. So thank you for carving the time out of your very busy schedule to be with us. We don't take it lightly. So let's jump in. Is that cool?
That'll be great, Liana. That'll be great.
Sounds good. Okay, so my first question for you is, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what has motivated you or launched you into the work you're doing in the first place?
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for this second interview with Common Good.
No problem.
And, so my name is Ming-Ming Tung-Edelman. I am the founder and exec director of Refugee Artisan Initiatives. And I'm originally from Taiwan. Mm-hmm. I immigrated to the U.S. when I was 16 years old, after living in Saudi Arabia for 2 years. So it was the first time in my life kind of have this multicultural view after leaving Taiwan as a teenager. And I be blessed coming here and able to get my education and had a pretty stable career for 25 years as a clinical pharmacist, working with patients and on their medications needs. And so what inspired my work, it also had to come back to my root. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, she was a single mother and able to raise my mother and my two uncles as a home-based seamstress. And women like her with little education, her husband died young, and her ability able to use her sewing skills and put food on the table. And it really made a lot of impression on me. She even made all my clothes when I was growing up. And I can give you a little tour later. There's a beautiful dress that she made for me before I left Taiwan. It was still right now it's hung at our makerspace here in Lake City. Yeah. So immaterialized women with skills plus tools can really transform their lives.
Yeah.
So about 6 years ago, that's when I started thinking about, what else I really want to do besides being a career clinical pharmacist. And I really enjoy fashion. So I took fashion certificate program at the UW. I was one of the last class, and then become a friend with my instructor, Camille, and learning she was teaching refugee women how to sew. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I also learned that over 85% of textiles are dumped into landfills. And there was this sort of spark, this light bulb moment. Perhaps there was for these under and unemployment refugee women who encompass the highest percentage of unemployment rate in the country. And these excess textile and material, maybe we can combine and create a circular economy, job, creating job, diverting textile. So that's my motivation. That's how I started, over 5 years ago.
Yeah. I like the way you said that. I like the way that you emphasize that with skill and with tools, right? Like so much can be done. And so we find a lot of times people in circumstances that are less, less fortunate or marginalized or disenfranchised, or for whatever reason, they're not in an ideal situation, and they have an ability, right? They have this skill, they have this art, this craft, this whatever inside of them, but it's about the merging of the access, right? The tools, the resources, the opportunity to actually take what they have inside of them and turn it into something that benefits and enhances their lives. And so I like the way that you highlighted that, because even a lot of times people can be seen as lazy or all kinds of things, when the truth of the matter is they have ability. And maybe they don't have formal education, but they're smart, right? Formal education is not the only way to know something and to be able to do something in this world. And so I like the way that you said that. And so so you went from 25 years in pharmacy, and you launched this new program. So tell me a little bit more about the program. How do you meet the women? How do you find them? How do they find you? Like, tell me a little bit more.
Absolutely. So I want to emphasize what you just said, Liana. We really need to focus on. Sorry, we have people coming here to volunteer.
It's okay. It's like you're running business.
Yes, I volunteer. Just coming to volunteer. So anyway, I to bring to you the idea that, we tend to focus on what people are lacking, right? Like, you don't have this. So for our women, the conventional workforce would be like, how can we fix what are your deficits? You don't speak English, you got to take English classes. You don't know how to drive, take driving classes. You go, learn a trade. It takes a while. And then for us, especially for refugees, they have gone through so much of the journey and come to our country. They are enough as who they are. And that's how I look at it. Yeah. They come with their sets of skills and strengths. Particularly, a lot of refugees grew up in refugee camp. They have to make their own clothes. They got to be self-sufficient, mending, fixing. So these are skills that we are not emphasized here in the U.S. Yeah. But they're really important. So when COVID comes, it becomes even more important that when there's no mask to be found, these women, we can quickly, use their sewing skill, making things that our community needs. Yeah. So how I found these women? I connect myself with different resettlements of agencies that work with refugees and refugee and immigrant women. So Refugee Women's Alliance, they have case managers for their Afghan and their Burmese case managers that connect me with the women that know how to sew. They have children. Some have up to 6 children. Nobody ever want to hire them here in the U.S. But we say, no problem. We meet where you are. Yeah. As long as you have the desire to work, want to use your hands, we're here to serve you. And then we also have a wonderful partnership with, we started as an incubator here with Children's Home Society in Washington. And part of their group is called Build Lake City Together here in Lake City. We started as a business incubator. So we started recruiting women in the neighborhood as well. So we currently have women from 6 different countries: Ethiopia, Burma, Afghanistan, Vietnam, China, Morocco. So a very diverse group of women, all have common in sewing, because I believe sewing is a universal language. It can come from any part of the world. It's a skill familiar with a lot of women. So we want to be able to quickly provide them with opportunity. Opportunity not only just use their hands, but able to earn income and support their family. And that's what motivated me to do this work. Yeah.
I love it. I love the way that I was trying not to get emotional while you were talking, and how you were saying, listen, like we so often highlight, like you said, people's deficits, the things that they don't have, instead of validating what they do have and enhancing that and helping them to become better, right? So then so much of their time and energy is put into trying to change what they're not instead of enhancing what they are, and that being a place of validation and beauty. I love the way that you said, like, you are just fine the way that you are, and we're going to show you what you have is enough and can become something beautiful. And it just inspiring me, making me think about my life and saying, what are ways that I'm so focused on my deficits and not enough on the things that I'm actually good at, and women in general, we find ourselves struggling with that, right? Always being told what we're not enough of instead of how much we already are.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I love it. So the women that you work with, so all of them are definitely refugees. Are there other women that?
There are refugees and immigrants, but right now, particularly, we have a huge referral influx of women from Afghanistan. They all are refugees, especially there's a lag time between their resettlement here and then when they are ready to, with their kids in school and settle, they're ready to work. So right now we're dealing with a big wait list of Afghan women right now in the program.
That makes sense. So how does it work like in real time? So you hire them and they're sewing and they're working for your organization. So do you have like contracts with other clothing lines? Like how does it turn into income, or what do those relationships look like?
Sure. So there are 3 ways they can earn income, with actually multiple ways. We're trying to be very creative. Of course, we have our line of product. They are all, upcycled from fabric that donated to us. We have donation day, people, and then we turn it into home and kitchen products. That's our RAI line of products. And we also work with a different partnership. For example, we have worked with Starbucks. We turn their burlap coffee bean bag, turn them into very nice, beautiful bags that they order and sell in their employee stores. And then we also work with a company like Tommy Bahama. They are using their scraps from, though their clothing are made overseas, but they ship their scrap along with their finished product back to the US. And we purpose these fabric into scrunchies for women for their givers purchase. And then we, partnership with small batch manufacturing. What we do, also do small batch with other organizations. And currently, we're also training women with the Swedish hospital here in Providence, Swedish, training them making medical scraps. So there was a shortage of that during COVID overseas.
Wow.
So we want to train them making something that's useful for our community. And then the third arm is, when we're still small, we can't really keep everyone busy. So a few times a year, we fundraise and make things our community would need. And in this case, right now, we are gearing up for Give Big. We're partnering with Seattle Humane, making zero waste pet products, pet toys, and doggy beds and cat baskets to provide to the Seattle Humane. And in the wintertime, we'll make fleece hats and neck warmers and donate them to our homeless neighbors. And then doing back to school, we'll make back to school bundles through donation and campaign that they make, pencil pouches and lunch bags and masks and things they need for them to go back to school safely. So that's how we kind of keep them busy year round through our line of products, through partnership. And right now things are kind of slow right now. So spring is a perfect season right now to gear on with Give Big. So we have a goal of $20,000 worth of product that doing the Seattle Humane. So we'll encourage your, your supporters to kind of check us out with that campaign right now. We really think we can crush the goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the way that you highlight things that we so easily can not even think about, when I start asking what type of products do you make or what type of partnerships, every little thing in our lives, you don't think about, like you said, from lunch bags to masks to hospital. Like there's just so many ways, to repurpose and use these skills to bring about, the things that we use on an everyday basis, but then also, like you said, to bless the community, to bless the homeless, to be a resource. It's like you're employing people in a way that's blessing their lives, and then you're intentionally making things that is also helping to bless the lives of other people. Like this circular process is just amazing. Do you have a team of people? Is it just you? Like, how do you make it happen on a day-to-day basis?
We definitely a team of people, and volunteers are really important. So our mission really here is really partner with refugee and immigrant women for them to have a prosperous transition in the U.S. to skill training and micro business. So every woman here, we get them with a business license. And so we do have our operation manager, and she's our coordination and volunteers to help get things set up. And we have our sewing associate Apaja from Nepal, and she working on a sewing project and giving feedback, because the woman coming once a week get their projects, and then they make their products at home in between taking care of their children. So we'll make it as flexible. And we have definitely our fundraising, our grant writer, very small team, about 6 people. And we still have a couple of women that were our artisans now become our employees. They are here to do cutting and doing some fulfillments for us. Just things we need to be done. So we are envision. We have in the last 5 years, we have trained around 30 women in the program, and our goal is at least 100. So we'll have a way to go, and that will require us to grow the staff and getting more funding. And then right now, I'm in the front of our makerspace is empty right now. We're ready for grand opening on June 16th. So we are having various groups of volunteers coming here helping us. From painting the walls to, organizing the shelves and transporting machines. So it's going to become a community space for all to enjoy.
I love it. Okay, so let me ask you this. What are the needs of refugee women in the Seattle area, particularly with the recent arrival of Afghan refugees?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, people understand that when refugees coming to our community, doesn't matter what country they're coming from, they get 90 days of financial support from our government. And after that, they're on their own. So the financial stress is really high. And oftentimes, the men need to go out and find a job right away, and the woman at home in isolation and mental health become a big challenges for these women. So finding a way for them to connect in their community, either through their own community or find a way for them to able to use their skill and to earn income to help their family to relieve some of the pressure from their spouses, and because culturally some of these families have many children, so it is really difficult. So their needs are from health, mental health, financial, and connection to the community, and along with the fact that some of them have to learn English and driving. So, they are facing a lot of different needs, but ultimately, they want to feel another really major challenge right now is those who come to the Seattle area. Its rent is really high. So it really put a pressure on the woman to also need to participate in earning income. But how can you do that when a lot of times culturally you need to be at home and you have all these traditional barrier for traditional employment. So that's why we're looking at the end goal of what we can do to help them to overcome.
Right. So so what I hear you saying, and tell me if I'm correct, is that there's financial struggles when these women get here, and a lot of time, or when their families get here, and a lot of times there's the cultural dynamics that says the woman should be at home. Did I hear you say that part? But
Correct.
there's the reality of life in America, or just their life once they get here, that says the economic demands on their life require for them to be creative with how they bring about income, because A, they're expected to be at home, right? And then B, there are barriers to getting a job and having traditional income here. So the model that you've created and that your team has created and is working on building is allowing them to still honor their cultural traditions, which is they're still going to be at home, right? But then they're able to make money and care for their kids right there at home. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah, I can see us as a disruptor of a traditional workforce development. Mm-hmm. We want to, knock down this barrier and bring them to work very, very quickly. Yeah. And then because sewing is something we can show, we often can make videos of how to each steps, so the woman can actually watch it and then understand what's coming to their way. They can decide if it's something they want to pursue or they don't want to pursue. Mm-hmm. So we want to be creative and looking at how can we possibly, get them be on their foot pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And we have one really bulk program right now. It seems impossible, but we think it's possible. Yeah. We are one of the 3 cities chosen with Etsy, which is a craft, the well-known craft, online craft ordering. Mm-hmm. And with another nonprofit called Nest, they chose 3 cities in the U.S. Trying to promote what's called Afghan Artisan Uplift Initiative. So they're all going to we have at least 7 women in the program will launch their Etsy shop pretty soon in June. So again, right, think non-traditionally. Yeah. They definitely have barriers, but we are working all the kinks. And you don't have printer, we got your printer. You don't have fabric, we got your fabric. You need design. We actually have a designer from Afghan designer, speak their language, understand their culture, flew in from New York City, did a 2-day teaching about design and what they need to do to make their product to sell on Etsy. So we're looking at multiple channels. Yeah. And another thing really, really exciting is this space you see behind me. Yeah. We're going to soon, when it's open, we're going to have artisan-led workshop. It can be Julie from Burma leading a Burmese embroidery class on their Burmese button making class to how to make upcycle beanbag with one of our artisans. So these are just another way that I would invite your congregate to involve signing up the workshop with our ladies. Mm-hmm. This way, building their language skill and confidence, talking in front of audience, and help them also earn another source of income as well.
Gotcha. So explain one more. I heard you transition saying this is a way that our congregation can get involved in support. Explain that piece again.
So you can sign up. If there might be a day, some of you will sign up to come here to do a workshop with an artisan. This way, you get a chance to interact with her and hear about her story. We actually have quite a few women escape religious prosecutions, especially our Burmese artisans. That for them to connect with common good will be a very natural way of knowing that there is a common in terms of faith connection, and then doing a project with them. And it's an interactive. We envision that you'll be going home maybe with a sock monkey or a wreath for the holiday or ornament around Christmas. Do we have to know
how to sew?
Nope, you don't need to do anything. That's what they're here for. They are here to help you step the way. A lot of these projects you can use by needles, but part to be sewn. The woman's there to help you. So you'll go home with a project that's diverting waste and creating something new and help these women earn extra income leading these workshops as well.
Got you. So the women will lead the workshops and we will be able to sign up, or people can pay to take the workshops.
And then that can be both virtual and in person.
Yeah.
Because we can send you kits ahead of time prepared by the woman. And then on the workshop, we can all make it together, step by step together.
I like that. I like that a lot. So it's an opportunity for us to connect and build a relationship. It's also an opportunity for those of us who don't have these artistic skills to learn them. And then it's a way for you all to create the courses and earn income from us taking the courses. I love it.
Yeah, it's what we call team building, community engagement. I think that's one area we were actually start showing some success right before COVID, and then got shut down. So now as we're coming out of COVID, we are still going to offer the hybrid workshops, and all the materials coming from us here in Lake City, and then especially a hybrid program will make sure it's not going to be involved in the sewing machine. It will be most likely things you can make by hand. And then you will come in with some needle and thread, perhaps, and buttons. and maybe just weaving. We also just starting a really great initiative. As you can see, this is an empty space for the grand opening on June 16th. We would love to invite your congregate to come. We're currently teaching the woman making the thing about our grand opening. It's called Welcome Home. And currently the women are making refugee welcome mats.
I love it.
They will be decorated and be auctioned out at the event. So they are working on various different projects as much as we can to keep them engaged, keep them busy, make them feel they're useful, and also earning income through training and also through piecework as well.
I love it. So in addition, and I know we're about to wrap up the conversation because you are a busy woman, but in addition to taking courses, what are other ways either members of Common Good or just anyone who's watching this, who will watch this video and they're like, hey, I want to support that organization. I want to serve with them, or I want to be a resource, or I want to whatever. What are other ways that the community can support the work that you're doing?
Absolutely. So I mentioned about Give Big that's coming up. You can certainly donate to support that major initiative. And then Mother's Day is coming up. If you are thinking about gifts, we also make beautiful jewelry and all different type of items. You can purchase in the work of goods and volunteer. You can, I know your group is coming here to volunteer as a group, so you can come volunteer. And then if you want to be not more than just one-time volunteer, I would also encourage you to get to our website, Refugees Arts. So Refugees with S, art with S at the end.org. And you can fill out the volunteer application form. We have people doing IT stuff to all the way to come here sorting materials. And so there are different ways that you can get engaged. And so those are the things besides the workshop that we can start talking about it. If you have a group of things interested, we can kind of customize for your organization as well.
Absolutely. So one last question. How do we access the goods that you make in order to purchase them? Are they sold on your website? Do you guys have a store? Like, how do we get
it's all on the website right now. There's the shop area. You can look through all kinds of beautiful things that we have made throughout the years. And some are designed with our artisans design as well. So it's a collaborative.
Makes perfect sense. We will make sure like all this information is communicated and accessible to the congregation and to the public. June the 16th is the grand opening. I will do my best to be there. I think that is amazing. And then other ways that our church can connect with your organization. We're going to make it happen. So thank you so much for taking the time out. Ming-Ming, are there any final words you would like to leave us with? Any thoughts, any encouragement, any reflection before we end this time? Just anything that comes to your heart or mind.
I'm just really grateful that your congregation was open heart and open mind and want to learn about who we are and vice versa. So it will be a heart-to-heart connection as we get to know each other. This is just the first step. I'm looking forward to more connection and partnership together.
I love it. I love it. Well, nice to meet you, Ming-Ming, and I look forward. The next time it will be in person.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, great. Okay, you take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.